Please participate in the chatting room. This chapter, we're going to talk about pricing. We're going to explore three major pricing strategy and look at some other considerations that affect pricing decision. Let's talk one by one. And before then, let's just watch one video first.
This laptop, cell phone, tablet, and headphones together cost more than $3,500. That's about the same as 2.5 months' rent for the average American.
Let's face it, Apple products have never been cheap, and the cost of some of its products has increased dramatically over time. Just look at how the price of the iPhone has increased over the years. What started at $499 in 2007 now starts at $999.
So what makes these products so pricey? Well, some say it boils down to no other reason than the fact that Apple can convince us to pay the hefty price.
There's even an official term for this phenomenon. It's called the Apple tax, which describes the extra money customers are willing to pay for an Apple product over a competitor product with similar features. And often it's attributed to the so-called cool factor associated with Apple. It's those premium prices that helped catapult Apple into becoming one of the world's most valuable companies. And at the start of 2019, it announced it was holding a whopping $245 billion in cash reserves. But Apple would argue customers are paying a premium for a reason. In 2018, Apple's CEO Tim Cook defended the company's most expensive iPhone yet, saying, quote, "It's the most advanced iPhone we've ever done," pointing out it had replaced the need for other devices like a camera, video recorder, and music player. He argues creating, quote, "the most innovative product available is, quote, not cheap to do." And Apple will never sacrifice quality for price. So all that money you're shelling out for your new iPhone is, at least in theory, helping to fund future innovations like it. Innovation is what helped Apple earn its stripes.
It's a phone, first and foremost, as you'd expect from the iPhone. So you've got all your contacts on there, but it's different to most mobile phones. It syncs with your computer.
The original iPod and the iPhone have both been touted as products that changed the world. When the original iPod came out in 2001, it cost $399, a staggering price for a personal music player at the time. Apple aggressively marketed the iPod as a device that could store 1,000 songs in your pocket. All of this at the cusp of the digital download revolution. In less than 6 years, Apple announced more than 100 million iPods had been sold, making it the fastest-selling music player in history. In 2005, Apple announced its annual profits shot up 384%, largely due to the smashing hit of its new digital music player. Its profits would continue to grow through to 2012. For a lot of those customers, the iPod would become the first of many Apple purchases. So ultimately, that $399 purchase would make them more inclined to not just potentially buy new versions of the iPod, but ultimately move on to buy iPhones, MacBooks, iPads, and Apple Watches.
You get the idea. Suddenly you're locked into Apple's ecosystem, which some experts say has allowed the company to increase prices faster than its competitors. Think of it like Apple sort of having a monopoly on a customer's digital life.
The iPhone, which debuted in 2007, would ultimately replace the iPod, and this was responsible for even more impressive growth. Worldwide shipments of the iPhone increased year on year until it reached its peak of 231 million in 2015. That's more iPhones than there are people in most countries.
But now there's some concern around Apple's ability to continue innovating, and even some signs that its growth and industry dominance is under pressure.
You see, Apple hasn't been able to surpass that iPhone peak ever since, and profits have begun to fluctuate too. So why the peak? Well, it's part of a larger trend we're seeing across the entire industry. The lifespan of a smartphone is getting longer, which means customers just aren't upgrading as often as they used to. But as a publicly traded company, Apple is expected to grow for its shareholders, and one possible way to combat declining sales is simply to raise prices. That enables it to have higher profit margins. In 2018, the price of the base Apple Watch went from $329 to $399. And don't forget the time it tried to sell the Apple Gold Watch for $10,000. An analysis in 2017 found that the iPhone X cost 25% more than the iPhone 8 to make. yet it retailed for 43% more. According to one firm, the iPhone X costs $357.50 to make, but since it sells for $999, that gives it a gross margin of 64%.
In recent years, to help grow its business, Apple has made it a priority to grow sales in the world's most populous country, China. And while it's been met with some success, it also faces serious competition.
Ironically, the sheer expense of Apple products has hurt sales in countries like China, India, Brazil, and Turkey, emerging markets the company desperately needs to keep growing. Premium smartphone prices have been rising across the board, but compared to its competitors in China, iPhones cost a lot. Take, for instance, the iPhone XS Max. It costs close to $1,400 in China, essentially twice the price of Huawei's Mate 20, and 3 times the cost of Xiaomi's Mi Mix 3. Throw a stronger dollar, tariffs, and an economic slowdown into the mix, and it's no surprise that in mid-2018, Apple's iPhone fell 3rd place amongst the list of world's most popular smartphones. That's when Chinese tech giant Huawei passed it. Just look at the percentage change in Apple's share of the smartphone market compared to its competitors. That same year, Apple announced it would no longer report units sold of iPhones, which Wall Street interpreted as a likely sign of more declining sales.
At the end of the day, most experts agree that Apple needs to come up with new innovations and not just raise prices in order to hold on to its place as one of the world's most valuable companies.
Okay, as you see in this video, Apple's known for its very innovative products. And of course, it's a leader in selling lots of electronic products, including mobile phones, Apple Watch, and so on. And it's also very popular, very well known for its pricing, okay? Apple's considered cool, and it's offer good value, worth the premium price it charges. Okay, so that's one of pricing strategy we're going to talk about more. It's because of loyal consumers. Okay, so let's talk about the basic definition of price and other strategies. Historically, price has been the major factor affecting buyer choice. And recently, of course, pricing is really important, but lots of consumers are focused on value from the product or service. Okay, so non-price factors like value have gained increasing importance. Even so, price remains one of the most important elements, right? So if you purchase any product, you also consider price really much, right? So price is the only element in the marketing mix that produce revenue out of this 4P compared to all other elements represents cost, okay? So the price is the amount of money charged for a product or service, or the sum of all the values that customers exchange for the benefits or having or using the product or service. So let's see this figure. So this figure suggests 3 major pricing strategy. First one is customer value-based pricing and cost-based pricing and competition-based pricing. Okay, so there's price floor means like there's no profit below this price. If it's under this price, no profit. And if your product price is over that amount of money, then no demand because it's too expensive. So price floor and price ceiling. So we can like expect product cost around here and customers' perception of value around here. And there are 3 types of pricing strategy. Let's just talk about one by one from the first category, customer value-based pricing. So in the end, the customer will decide whether a product price is right. Probably you will decide whether this is right price or not. So pricing decisions, like other marketing mix decisions, must start with customer value. When customers buy a product, they exchange something of value, which is price, to get something of value, which is the benefit of having or using the product. Okay, so these are more customer-oriented pricing, and it involves understanding how much value customers place on the benefits they receive from the product and setting a price based on that value. Okay, so value-based pricing is more customer-oriented, customer-driven. Cost-based pricing, it's more focused on product itself. Okay, so you need to think about perceived value from consumers. Okay. So this figures compares value-based pricing with cost-based pricing. Although costs are really important consideration in setting price, cost-based pricing is often product-driven and sets a price that covers cost plus a target profit. Okay, so if you're a marketer, marketing must then convince buyers that the product's value at that price justify its purchase. If the price turns out to be too high, maybe the company must settle for lower markups or lower sales, both resulting in some disappointing points. So you think about this process. Design a good product and cost first, set price based on cost, and convince buyers of product's value. In contrast to this cost-based pricing, value-based pricing assess customer needs and value first, set target price to match this value, determine costs, and design product to deliver desired value at target price. So it's different. So there's good value pricing. So two types of value-based pricings are good value pricing, and the other one is value-added pricing. So more and more marketers have adopted the strategy of this good value pricing, which is offering just the right combination of quality and good service at a fair price. Okay, so one good example of good value pricing is EDLP, represent for everyday low pricing. It involves charging a constant everyday low price with few or no temporary price discounts. Have you ever heard of Walmart example? It's really popular example, all about the marketing field. So let's just see a short clip of Walmart and we're going to discuss more.
With over 5,000 stores in the US and over $500 billion in revenue, Walmart is officially the biggest retailer in America. If you're going into Walmart, you're on a treasure hunt to find the best bargains out there. And while you're busy finding good deals, you may not realize that Walmart uses sneaky tactics to make you spend more money than you were initially intending. Once you enter Walmart, you're greeted with big shopping carts, mentally preparing you to fill it all up with things. And then you're bombarded with huge signs with price tags. This might be obvious, but these big signs can be spotted very easily, and people are more likely to gravitate towards them. But something that may not be so obvious is this. The actual price tags follow the good old psychology marketing strategy of odd-even pricing. Prices like $4.93 and $6.84 are just below whole numbers like $5 and $7, making the prices seem like a bargain. Since we're trained to read left to right, when we see $4.93, most would think it's $4 as opposed to $5. While you're roaming through the aisles of Walmart, you'll also spot their rollback prices. This is how Walmart advertises a lower price on an item. But a rollback item is not quite a clearance or a sale item. It's an item that has been lowered in price for other reasons, like overstock, for example. Rollback prices only last for 90 days. So when customers see that tag, they may be more likely to purchase the item because it's a little cheaper than it was before. And you don't know how long until it'll roll back to the original price. You'll also see the words everyday low price plastered everywhere, constantly reminding your subconscious that you're getting low prices at Walmart. We spent almost 2 hours at this Walmart and saw probably over 100 of these signs. You might see something you weren't intending on buying, like chocolate for example, and buy it anyways because as the signs constantly remind you, it probably costs less here than at your local store. And that's another thing, it feels like Walmart has everything. Fishing rods, bicycles, cleaning supplies, sporting goods, clothing, food and beverages, you name it. Walmart has a wide range for you to choose from, so you're bound to find something you'll buy. Not only does Walmart tend to have a wide selection of a particular product, their giant layouts also make it possible to have everything you need related to a particular product. Let's say you're going to Walmart to get a tent for camping. You'll likely stumble across something else in that section that you might have forgotten about or think you might need, like a lantern, or impulse buys like an extra sleeping bag. We also can't forget about the seasonal items Walmart offers. It's January, so you know Walmart is going to be stocked up with Valentine's Day goods for you to buy, reminding you the holiday is coming up and that you might as well take care of it while you're there. Just look at all these items. Heart-shaped trays, cute paper cups, wine glasses with cheesy phrases. There are just so many items for Valentine's Day that you didn't even know existed. And because Walmart is more of a one-stop shop, people have this mentality to stock up on bargains in one trip, spending hours roaming through the aisles. The music they play is partially to blame. Ever notice the type of music that's playing? It's usually calm, soothing, and slow, or sometimes top hits from the radio. Either way, the music they play are designed to make you spend more time in the store and hopefully spend more money too. But even if you are aware of all these sneaky tactics, you may still end up buying more than you intended to, because you just can't beat those everyday low prices.
88 cents?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, we gotta get that.
And there's like 6 champagne glasses too.
Okay, as you watch it in this video, everyday low pricing involves charging a constant everyday low price with few or no temporary price discounts. Okay, so king of EDLP is Walmart, which practically defines this concept. Okay, so there's another tactic which is called high-low pricing. Okay, so it involves charging higher price on an everyday basis, but running frequent promotions to lower price temporarily on selected items. So department stores, I just put like what I want to, like where I want to go. Okay, so very famous department store from Paris, Milano, Moscow. Okay, so it's actually top like 10, top 5 department store. So most of department stores do this high-low pricing. Okay, so maybe everyday basis just higher price, but for example, like early bird savings or bonus earnings for some store credit card holders, that's high-low pricing strategy. Okay, and next, value-added pricing. It's the strategy of attaching value-added features and service to differentiate their offers in that support higher prices. It's try to justify, like persuade consumer that it has like this value. Okay, so value-based pricing doesn't mean simply charging what customers want to pay or setting low price to meet competition. Instead, many companies adopt this value-added pricing strategy rather than cut price to match competitors. Okay. Next category is cost-based pricing. That involves setting price based on the cost for producing, distributing, and selling the product plus a fair rate of return for its effort and risk. Whereas customer value perception set the price ceiling, cost set the floor for the price that the company can charge. Let's just see. Okay, so you can understand this fixed cost plus variable cost is total cost concept for understanding better with this cost-based pricing. Okay, so the simplest pricing method is cost plus pricing, or we can call this markup pricing. Price is calculated by adding a standard markup to the manufacturer's cost. Okay, using standard markup to set price, do you think it makes sense? Generally, no. Adding pricing method that ignores demand and competitor price is not likely to lead the best price. But still, this markup pricing remains popular for many reasons like this. Okay, sellers are more certain about cost and demand. By tying the price to cost, sellers simplify pricing. There's no need to make frequent adjustment as demand changes. And buyers feel maybe it is fair, but the disadvantage is it ignores demand or competitor price. Okay. Another cost-oriented pricing approach is break-even pricing, or we can call this target return pricing. Okay, the firm tries to determine the price at which it will break even or make the target return it is seeking. So target return pricing uses the concept of this break-even chart, which shows the total cost and the total revenue expected at different sales volume levels. Okay, so this figure shows this break-even chart. Okay, so again, let's see one more example of break-even pricing, and then we're gonna move on.
To starting a business, achieving liftoff can be exhilarating. However, it's also when the journey can be the most perilous. Immediately after launch, the business is working just to stay afloat until the point you know you're in the clear. But what does that mean, and how will you know? It's called break-even, and put simply, it's the point at which a business is neither making a profit nor a loss. Rather, it's momentarily floating in limbo. The break-even point is the total amount of sales a business needs to achieve before it starts being profitable. Or more technically, a business's fixed cost of production, like rent, divided by how much you sell the product for, minus the variable costs per unit sold, like ingredients or materials. How much you sell the product, minus variable costs, is usually called your contribution margin. Confused? Don't worry, here's an example. Let's say it costs Pizza Planet $8 to make one pizza, and they sell the pizza for $12. That means their contribution margin is $4. So, if Pizza Planet's only fixed cost is $500 rent, to find out the number of pizzas they need to sell to break even, they simply divide the rent by the contribution margin. This means they need to sell 125 pizzas, and any pizza sold after that would contribute to the company's net profit. So, you can see by conducting a break-even analysis, a business is able to determine the price of a product, how many need to be sold, as well as identify and potentially reduce excessive fixed costs, ultimately allowing a business to reach profitability and beyond.
Okay, the third category is competition-based pricing. It involves setting price based on competitors' strategy. We need to actually think about like other companies, how they set this price. It's really important. So competitors' strategies, cost, price, and market offerings. So consumers will base their judgment of a product's value on the prices that competitors charge for similar products. When you decide to purchase any product, you don't have to focus only on one brand, right? You will generally, naturally compare your products to other brands. That's competition-based pricing is why this pricing strategy is necessary. So in assessing competitors' pricing strategy, the company should ask, how does the company's market offering compare with competitors' offering in terms of customer value? Or how strong are current competitors and what are their current pricing strategy? So no matter what price you charge relative to the competition, whether it's high or low or in between, you need to be certain to give customers superior value for that price. Okay, so now let's see one more video about target costing. So target costing starts with an ideal selling price based on customer value consideration, and then target cost that will ensure that the price is met. Then let's see.
There are 5 steps to apply when using target costing. Consider budget airlines, which plans on selling salad bowls to passengers during their flight. Using target costing, the first step would be to identify the selling price for a salad bowl. The target selling price is not set by budget airlines, but rather determined by the market forces of supply and demand. Based on market research, Budget Airlines determines that the target selling price of a salad bowl sold in flight is $15. Step 2 requires the profit margin to be determined. Budget Airlines has a policy of only providing products and services that have a 20% profit margin. This means that Budget Airlines is required to make a $3 profit on the sale of each salad bowl. That is $15 times 20%. Step 3 involves the calculation of target cost. In this example, the target cost is $12. That is the selling price of $15 minus the profit margin of $3. In step 4, Budget Airlines would need to consider the cost of producing the bowl of salad. This consideration needs to include the product life cycle costs. Assume that production costs equated to $12.05. Step 5 requires a comparison of the production cost with the target cost. Since the production costs exceed the target costs by 5 cents a bowl, Budget Airlines would need to consider the following options. 1. It can accept a profit margin that is less than $3. 2. It can try and change the product while keeping costs fixed. This is to try and justify a higher selling price. 3. It can decide not to provide in-flight salad at all. Or 4. Budget Airlines can try and reduce the costs by changing the product mix and inputs. Management of Budget Airlines decided to remove 1 olive from each bowl of salad. This would reduce the input and quality, but by a marginal amount, such that passengers would not notice the difference. However, the removal of 1 olive would enable the costs of production to be less than the target cost of $12. A similar exercise was conducted by American Airlines in 1987. By removing 1 olive from each salad served in first class, the airline was able to save $40,000. In the same way, in 2011, Northwest Airlines saved $500,000 per year by cutting its limes into 16 pieces instead of 10 pieces. So, by reducing the input, the production costs were lowered and the target costs could be achieved. To recap, there are 5 steps when applying target costing. Where the production costs exceed the target costs, the entity needs to consider all its options and take additional actions, which could mean that it would have to go back and repeat some or all of the steps.
Okay, so now we're going to talk more about pricing considerations, including new product pricing, product mix pricing, pricing adjustments, and initiating, reacting to price changes. Okay, we're going to watch what is Palatone for this premium pricing example. Okay, so Palatone is really popular globally. So let's see example first and then talk more. First one is the short advertising, and we're gonna just see how Pelotons became successful.
This is what 30 minutes of boot camp tastes like. Come on, Peloton. Let it flow. Reach all the way up.
Check your vibe. It's time to grind, Peloton. Let's turn it up. Come on.
What's up, hustlers? Welcome to Peloton Outdoor. Let's get jogging.
Find your rhythm, baby. 1, 2, 1, 2. So many Peloton newbies on the leaderboard today. Welcome to the family.
Try Peloton classes free on the app. New members only. Terms apply.
You've got to pack your bag. You've got to travel. The showers might be dirty or taken.
Fitness classes. We've all got a love-hate relationship with them. But Peloton is working to change that, and it's created a movement. Peloton started when the founders wanted to solve that common excuse we all use. I don't have time for the gym.
We were going to shift this fitness industry from these commercial gym environments into the most convenient place on earth.
John Foley first came up with the idea for Peloton as a busy dad living in New York. He and his wife couldn't find time to fit the SoulCycle and flywheel classes they loved into their schedules.
Could you build a platform that allow you to do that at home, your convenience, your time, your schedule?
It turns out they could.
Investors actually thought we were crazy. Who builds their own bike? Why are you building your own tablet computer? You're going to start your own broadcast studio and hire your own instructors.
Find that nice rhythm.
They saw an incredibly expensive business model.
But the founders say that business model has been key to their success. The company has over 1 million passionate riders, celebrities, athletes, business leaders. Everyone started clipping into their bikes and tuning into the classes.
Woo! Rise and grind, baby!
There are fan groups and podcasts.
Coming up on episode 80 of the Clip Out.
And riders are self-proclaimed members of a cult.
We've seen users send us the Peloton logo permanently tattooed on their body.
People are pretty obsessed with Peloton, myself included.
A lot of that obsession is thanks to the elite instructors like Arzan, who've become global fitness celebrities.
The Peloton instructors are like a team of superheroes. I really liken it to creating a team of like Avengers, and we all come with our own special skill set. You're part DJ, you're part coach, you're part television host. And instructors are kind of breaking that fourth wall and in people's homes. That's really powerful stuff.
Peloton has such a personal connection for me. Specifically, Robin. When she is talking to that screen, she is talking to me. Before I had my Peloton, I worked out about 3 or 4 times a week in a private gym with a trainer, and it was getting harder and harder to schedule with her. It comes out for me to about $120 a month, which is really inexpensive compared to a private trainer for various sessions.
Peloton has been criticized for high prices and their elite marketing. A recent viral meme mocks Peloton ads, calling the company out for being bougie and unachievable.
We've strived to find different entry points. The Peloton bike on one of our financing plans is closer to $50 a month.
Peloton's growth is impressive. Investors have poured in nearly $1 billion, valuing the company at $4.15 billion. The company says it'll reach $700 million in revenue in February 2019. And there's a potential Peloton IPO rumored for later this year. The industry has taken note.
We have updates on Peloton competitors. Competitors.
Live boutique cycling studios and premium gym memberships represent their biggest competition. Peloton just represents the direction the industry's heading towards, with other sorts of at-home fitness devices packaged with streamable subscription content are expected to pop up over the next 5 years.
Competitors have already jumped on the trend. Other at-home fitness brands like Mirror and Tonal have sprung up, and rival Flywheel launched a subscription service to stream cycling classes, prompting a 2018 lawsuit from Peloton that claims the company copied its proprietary design, which Flywheel denies. Peloton is increasing its number and types of fitness classes and expanding its reach.
We've launched the UK and Canada. So now you can be riding a leaderboard with people from the Isle of Man to Vancouver, Canada to Bozeman, Montana. And we think that can potentially unify people through fitness.
Since the beginning, the founders had a vision. If they could control every aspect of the business, from designing and building the bike to developing the software, training instructors, streaming music, to delivering the experience to customers' homes, that vertical integration could lead to the company's lasting success. And Peloton has no intention of slowing down.
Dreamers who hustle are an unstoppable combination, and that's literally the DNA of this company.
Okay, so Peloton sells this in-home stationary bikes at a substantial price premium over the competition, and it has attracted a large and growing cult, you remember, like cult following users who like the value they get for the price they pay. So they don't sell this product at a cheap price, but they try to make this reason like why consumers have to buy this product in that premium price. Okay. Pricing strategies usually change as the product passes through this product life cycle. So in the introductory stages is especially really challenging, right? The starting point. So companies bringing out a new product face the challenging of setting price for the first time. They can choose between two broad strategies. First one is market skimming pricing, and the other one is market penetration pricing. So market skimming pricing makes sense only under certain conditions like this. First, the product's quality and image must support this higher price, and enough buyer must want the product at that price. Second, the cost of producing a smaller volume cannot be so high that they can cancel the advantage of charging more. Finally, competitors should not be able to enter the market easily and undercut the higher price. So it's not easy to copy that product. Apple frequently uses this market skimming pricing strategy. Okay. Now, another strategy is market penetration pricing. So rather than setting a high price to skim off small but profitable market segments, lots of companies use this market penetration pricing. They set a low initial price to penetrate the market quickly and deeply to attract a large number of buyers quickly and win a large market share. Okay, so for example, like Samsung have used this low initial price to make quick and deep inroads into some emerging mobile device markets such as Africa and India. Okay. The strategy for setting a product's price often has to be changed when the product is part of product mix. So in this case, the firm must look for a ZF price that maximizes profit on the total product mix. Okay, so let's see one by one. So pricing is difficult because the various products have related demands and costs and face different degrees of competition. Companies usually develop product lines rather than single products. So in product line pricing, management must determine the price steps to set between some various product lines, products in maybe some separate line. So it should consider cost difference between the products in each line. And also they should account for difference in customer perception of value of different features. Okay. For example, Microsoft offers full lines of Surface tablets, laptops, and PCs for different pricing strategy. And the second one is optional product pricing. So many companies use this. It offers to sell optional or accessory products along with the main products. So pricing these options is a sticky problem because the company has to decide which items to include in the base price and which to offer as options. You need to think about this. For example, refrigerators comes with optional ice makers. So if you're a consumer, or if you're a car buyer, you may have to choose to order a remote engine start system and premium sound system. That would be optional product pricing. Have you ever heard about captive product pricing? It sets price of products that must be used along with the main product. Think about printer, okay? Usually the price of printer itself is not that expensive, but you have to pay more with this laser toner or else, or video games, okay? Ebooks, right? So in the case of service, maybe the strategy is called two-part pricing. So price of the service is broken into a fixed fee plus a variable usage rate. Okay, so that's captive product pricing. And fourth and fifth pricing strategy is by product pricing and product bundle pricing. By product pricing, a company will seek a market for buy products and should accept any price that covers more than the cost of storing and delivering them. So sometimes even byproducts can turn out to be profitable. For example, fruit pulp, seeds, peels. Actually, it's leftover, but after being processed for like fruit juice and related beverage, it can be an important raw material for cosmetic industries for their medical properties. So it could be profitable after all. Okay, you might maybe easily understand this product bundle pricing. It's kind of like this combo price. Think about any like fast food restaurant that combines several products at a reduced price with bundle. Fast food restaurant bundle of burger, fries, and soft drink at a like cheaper price, combo price. That's product bundle pricing. And next is price adjustment strategy. The companies usually adjust their basic price to account for various customer difference in changing situation. So here we can examine like 7 different price adjustment strategies summarized in this table. I'm not gonna like explain one by one because it's really easily to understand from this explanation. We'll just finish with seeing dynamic pricing examples for this chapter. Okay. So let's see dynamic pricing here. Okay, so dynamic pricing, it involves adjusting price continually to meet the characteristic and needs of individual customers and situation. Think about some like pricing for airlines or some musical seats. Okay. So let's see one more example.
Welcome to a video exploring the concept of dynamic pricing and how it relates to vacation rentals. As a concept, dynamic pricing is not new. If you've ever booked a flight, you know that prices for the same route vary a lot between different days of the week. You've also probably noticed that the prices you see today for that flight may not be the same when you check again tomorrow. At its core, dynamic pricing is the practice of changing your price based on changes in supply and demand. So, why have vacation rentals been so slow to adopt this approach? With an airline or a hotel, you have large blocks of the exact same inventory. For example, on any given flight, you may have economy and business class. That's 2 groups of inventory. There's obviously window, aisle, and middle seats, but in terms of the way they're priced and sold, there's no difference. With a hotel, you typically have a few more categories, such as standard rooms, deluxe rooms, rooms with a view, executive rooms, and suites, but there are still large blocks of identical inventory. Vacation rentals, however, are different because every single piece of inventory is unique. You have to keep in mind such factors as size of the space, proximity to points of interest, reviews, picture quality, numbers of bathrooms, quality of furniture, does it have air conditioning, was the space recently renovated, are pets allowed, and the list goes on and on. This is why you can't price all 1-bedroom vacation rentals the same as you would all deluxe rooms in a hotel. As the world's first dynamic pricing solution for the vacation rental industry, Beyond Pricing has found a way to adjust for these factors. Since every unit is unique, we need a starting point. This is where the base price comes in. The base price is the starting point for all pricing fluctuations. We'll go above it for periods of high demand and below it for periods of low demand. For more information, check out our video, Setting the Correct Base Price for Your Listing. Once you have your base price set, Beyond Pricing will take this price and add in the different factors that we use to determine the best price for your listing. The three main factors that it will adjust for are seasonality, day of the week, and local events. Seasonality tells us if it is traditionally a period of high or low demand in your market. Day of the week represents the difference between the weekdays and weekend. Generally, a Monday isn't going to be as popular as a Saturday, so we adjust prices for this. Local events are anything unique and special to your market that causes spikes in demand, such as holidays, music festivals, or conferences. All three of these factors are hyperlocal to ensure you're getting the best possible prices year-round in your market. Please feel free to reach out to support at beyondpricing.com if you have any questions about dynamic pricing.
Okay, that's it for pricing strategy. 여기까지 할게요, 여러분. 네, 여러분 채팅 퀄리티가 굉장히 좋았어요. 그래서 아이디에이션 세션 어떻게 할 건지 잠시 안내 드릴게요. 혹시 조금 더 채팅 치실 수 있는 분들이 있을 것 같아서 제가 1분만 더 기다리겠습니다. 채팅 조금 더 해주시고 이제 이거 공개될 거니까 여기에 이 여러분이 작성하신 이 채팅에 아이디어를 더하는 방식으로 오늘 실습은 진행이 될 예정이에요. 왜냐면 굉장히 잘 해줬기 때문에. 그리고 다른 팀에서 이렇게 작성해 준 것들에서도 배울 수 있는 점들이 있을 거예요. 그래서 그거를 다 같이 한번 발전시켜 나가는 게 방법입니다. 하지만 여러분 팀 내에 있는 것들 위주로 해서 발전시켜 나가면 돼요. 네, 한 30초 정도 하고 채팅을 이제 닫을게요. 왜냐면 그래야 집중할 수 있어서 여러분이. 네, 한 10초 남았습니다. 잘 못하셨어도 괜찮으니까 이제 다음 세션에 집중해 주시면 될 것 같아요. 네, 그러면 여기서 종료할게요. 제가 이제 채팅 저장을 하고 participation 시트에 이걸 붙여 넣을 예정이에요. 네, 종료했고요. 저장을 잠시 하고 열게요. 굉장히 여러분 잘 해주셨고요. 한번 보도록 하겠습니다.